Well, it's a holiday weekend. We did not go away this weekend because my husband has a business trip that he's got to go on this week, and we're also both sick. He picked up this virus like maybe 3 weeks ago when he went on a business trip and promptly gave it to me. And then he went on another business trip and he was back last week, and we're both still coughing and hacking. I actually went as far as picking up some German homeopathic medicine that I constantly see advertised on YouTube. It's called Bronchopret. It kind of tastes like sweet salad dressing. It has thyme and ivy in it. It's not really horrible, and the dose is pretty small, but it's supposed to be helpful for coughs, which is what I'm really dealing with now. That and the fact that it's messed up my voice a bit. So I've been taking that, and I don't know if it's helped or not. I think homeopathic stuff usually takes a while, and Germans are very big on natural remedies for things. A lot of things that we take for granted that we can get in a grocery store, you have to go to the druggist here to get anything that is considered medicinal. I mean, you can order it from Amazon too, but if you want to say buy paracetamol, which is Tylenol, you have to go to the apotheke. And when you buy it, they're going to consult with you, which in a way is kind of nice. I mean, a lot of times the pharmacist can really hook you up. I remember one time we went to a hotel in Leipzig, and I got bitten by something. I assume it might have been bed bugs, but I don't know for sure. But I had a really bad rash on my leg, and my friend, German friend, recommended that I go visit the apotheke, which is what we did. And we went in, and this young man, he says, "What happened to you?" And I showed him, and he brought out this liquid medicine that I think was mostly antihistamines. But he actually poured me a dose while I was there, and it did work very well, but it knocked me out for a couple of hours, and I just was kind of flabbergasted by that, because in America you just go to a drugstore and there's a big, you just pick up what you want and you try it. And I mean, I guess you could talk to the pharmacist about it, but it's not like it would be a requirement. And here, it seems like, in Europe, I've never gone to an apotheke and not had a consultation, even if I didn't want one. So maybe that's yet another way the Europeans are better than the Americans are. Because right now, I read an article this morning about how researchers at the University of California, San Diego, are not even allowed to use certain words like women or Hispanic or black. They are considered DEI forbidden words. And so now the researchers there are having trouble writing papers. And you see, I have a master's in public health, so this is kind of a topic that is near and dear to me. Before I embarked on this odyssey with my husband, I worked as a technical writer for the Bureau of Epidemiology in South Carolina. So it was my job basically to write things that would be consumable by regular folks. Like a paper, I would take what was written in the paper and make some copy that the average person could understand. That was my job. I think that it would be very difficult to do that job if I wasn't allowed to talk about things like genders or sexes or racial groups, because that is kind of a cornerstone of public health and chronic disease prevention. We had a survey that was done by the CDC where they would call people up and ask them questions, and it was all based on gender and racial groups, and this was how they would track chronic diseases. But now our administration is forbidding that kind of language, according to this article that I read. And it came from a reputable source. And now you're going to have a lot of scientists who are talented and dedicated, or they're not going to stay with that work anymore. They're going to move on to a place where they can do their work and not be harassed by these policies. I still see people cheering about this new administration that we have that is like slowly destroying the country. They're cheering about it because they haven't yet had to face some of the detrimental things that are going to happen in the wake of this. Defunding cancer research, for instance. Getting rid of the Department of Education so that people are dumber. Pushing policies that make it harder for women to vote because they might have changed their name and they don't have a birth certificate and they don't have a passport. Passports are expensive and they take effort to get, I actually just ordered an official birth certificate because I do have one somewhere, but I don't know where it is, and I just think it's a good idea to have it. I went to the Department of Health in Virginia, which is where I was born, and I ordered one, and it was $12. Hopefully it will get to me soon. I recommend doing that, just so you have that document, if you don't already have one. And we're not talking about the hospital certificate that they give you. We're talking about an official birth certificate. It's a good idea to have that. Good idea to have any of those very important papers, because they are, right now, the SAVE Act, they're trying to disenfranchise voters in any way they can. And I highly recommend getting a passport. Even though they are expensive, you should have one. If only just because now that they're saying that the real ID is no longer good enough, you will have that as well. Naturally, I have to have one because I don't live in the States right now. But, it just is a good idea to have that. So I highly recommend getting one if you don't have one. Now, I kind of didn't really want to talk about this. This is really depressing. I actually had another topic in mind, and I may make another video with that. That's a more hopeful topic, but I do feel like I should say this for anyone who is as upset and worried as I am right now. I just think it's a good idea to get these documents, important documents that prove who you are and where you came from, because you never know when they might be necessary, and keep them in a safe place. Now, with that said, I think I will stop this video and I'll start another one on a different topic that is a little bit happier. See you then.